Good morning. This is retired Pastor Karl Schmidt from Calvary Lutheran Church, the Lutheran Church in Amherst, New York. We welcome you to our internet thingy this morning on the 1st of March of 2026, and it happens to be the second Sunday in Lent for this year. And the text is taken from the Gospel of Matthew. We're looking at the 15th chapter, verses 21 to 28. Then Jesus went out and departed into the coasts of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried to him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. But he did not answer a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she's bothering us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It's not right to give the children's bread and take it and throw it to the dogs. And she said, Yes, Lord. Yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then answered Jesus and said unto her, Woman, great is your faith. Be it unto you even as you want. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Here is that portion of the gospel text from the Gospel of Matthew. We're reading from the 15th chapter. We want to focus on verse 22 particularly. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast, cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. Now, she cried out, eleison. Now, that's something that you find in the Latin text of the Mass. Eleison, Kyrie eleison. What does it mean? Well, Kyrie means Lord, comes from Kyria in the Greek, and eleison comes from eleo in the Greek, which means mercy. Pass by judgment. Be kind to me. Help me out. Take care of my needs. Rescue me. These are all the ideas encapsulated with eleo, or have mercy. Now, you would think that this woman of Canaan was rather bold, because the common perception is what Jesus peddled. And he seemed to be, he plays a very nasty character, frankly. She's come to him for help. Her daughter has some particular need. It's desperate in her eyes because she's left her daughter to see him. Why? Well, because this woman is well-read. She's a very, very smart woman. And she's taken it upon herself, because in their day, that's kind of what you had to do, to study. And so she did. And she learned the Jewish scriptures, and she learned the Hebrew, and she learned the promise of the Savior was to all people. All people, all nations, all tribes, all places under the sun. This is the main theme of the entire book of Isaiah, which she has obviously read, even though she's from Canaan, a country where principally either idol worship was prevalent or atheism even more prevalent. No one gave a rip, Everyone there had heard of the Jews who hadn't, but at the same time, that didn't interest them at all. But this woman, on the other hand, she'd read the scriptures and she found something in there for herself. She found a God who made her promises. And if nothing, she was going to claim them. And that's what makes this text incredibly interesting. It's why I also picked the hymn I did for this morning, Midst Flaming Worlds. Do you get that part in the first stanza of the hymn? Jesus, thy blood and righteousness. Midst flaming world. You know when you're going to see midst flaming worlds? When there's no more ground under your feet. When's that going to happen? Oh, after the earth is completely annihilated and the stars are falling. All things are collapsing together. And by fire, the whole universe will be destroyed, God has already said. Or as Isaiah said, and she'd read, God was going to take the earth and the sun, the moon, stars, and the galaxies and all, and shake it like a blanket, like you're shaking cookie crumbs out of a blanket. And literally that's what Isaiah says. He will shake the dead out of the earth, and they will all stand before him. She's counting on that. Not just help for her daughter. This is not some pithy exercise for medical assistance of some kind. I mean, because everyone grows old and dies anyways. Both the mother and the daughter are dead. She has something else in mind, because she's used a phrase repeatedly that eleison me, have mercy on me. Huios tu David, have mercy on me, thou son of David. She knew enough. She knew more, vastly more than the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes in the temple, except for maybe one that Jesus ran across who knew enough to identify him correctly as the Son of God. Huios tu David, the son of David. The greater son of David, even though in Jewish thinking the son is always less than the father, but in this case David calls him his Lord, and Jesus asked the intelligent people there at another place, how is it that Jesus calls him Lord if he's his son? They just look, blank stares, dog in the headlights, deer in the headlights. They had nothing. Brains just shut off, drool running down their chin. Duh. Nothing. But this woman, she's not nothing. She's read what she read. And she knows that it's for her because it says it's for her. Does it matter that everyone else looks down on her? And the really interesting bit is that Jesus plays the game. He plays the game. He says, no, he doesn't. He ignores her. And typically that's not the best strategy. He ignores her. And then his disciples come to him and say, come on, you got to do something. She's making us nuts. She keeps following us and calling after us with all this scripture talk. Yell at her something. And so he seems to acquiesce to these idiot disciples of his. Oh yeah, I'll do that. Sure. Let's yell at her. Hey, lady. You don't take the children's breakfast and throw it to the dogs. And by the way, dogs in Jewish understanding are the kune in Greek. Dogs are not well liked. Greeks love dogs. Romans love dogs. Jews, not so much. No. So that's a dog they associate with as being eating dead things or eating filth or trash. And so the dog was ritually unclean. You couldn't pet it. You couldn't have it in your house, for heaven's sakes, because it ate dead things. Roadkill. So it was not like they, petted them and called them, hey, roof. And so it's an insult, deep insult. He just compared her to a dirty thing. And still, she knows what he's doing. She knows that when he ignored her, he wasn't ignoring her. She knows that when he mocked her openly in front of the idiots, he wasn't actually mocking her. He was mocking the idiots who were too dense, too stupid to understand the scriptures that they had supposedly learned as children. Because a Jewish man, by the time he was 5, he was under the tutelage of his mother. And then by the time he was between 5 and 12, he was under the tutelage of the father, and then finally the local rabbi. And in the meantime, they had to start writing their own copy. Each Jew did, male, had to write their own copy of the Old Testament by hand. They didn't have, copy paste. That was a big assignment. Anyways, these idiots mock her, want to get rid of her, because they don't see God's mercy, kindness, and peace, help available to her, just themselves. And so that's what Jesus comes up with. And they say, send her away, for she cries after her. But he answered and said, I'm not sent, but into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then she came and worshipped him and say, Lord, help me. Kyrios eleison. Because she knew he was playing. You know how you are with your kids? They say, can I have that last donut? No. What? I'm going to eat that. No, you're not. You already had one. You have diabetes. You can't have another. Yeah, I'm going to save it. I'm going to eat it anyways. You can't have it. Uh-huh. You know I'm going to take it. No, you can't have it. Parents do this all the time with their kids. It's called play. She knows Jesus is her brother, and his father's her father. He's just playing with her. She knows that. How does she know that? Because he's already put in writing all of his intentions, all of his promises. He's put his heart on paper for her, and she trusts it. She's not just asking for help for her daughter. She's just not asking help for the day. She's with him right now. This is a real woman. This is not a fairy tale. She's with him now. And I'm sure when she went back home to see her daughter, who was by then well, apparently, she was healed that same hour, that she explained everything about the Lord. And I'm sure she's daughter is with her in heaven too now. This is what she's really asking. That once the worlds are destroyed, the heavens are shaken, the stars fail and fall, that she stands there by the side of God, unshaken, unstirred, confident of heart, knowing full well that her destiny lies with him and not in doom or destruction. You see, this is the ultimate understanding of the Scriptures. This is what it really means, that we're creatures of dirt and dust and DNA and evolved muck as God set forth a very long time ago. And as he describes in the first chapter of the Bible, he describes that eons of time were involved, and that one thing came and was followed by another thing, followed by another thing. And we find the bones of the great dinosaurs that he talks about. Even Job talks about them. Even the Greeks used to dig up dinosaur bones. They're like 6 feet, 8 feet long. And they used to put them in their temples. They didn't know what they were exactly. They thought they were the bones of the gods. And they would put them just in storage in Greek temples. We find these things. The Greek Isles are filled with dinosaur bones. Always have been. So, have mercy on me is not a cry just for then and there. It takes her past the end of days, the end of time. It takes us past all the nonsense in this world. You see, in this world, everyone's oh so concerned. Oh, there's a tyrant. There's always a tyrant. Always. Can you think of any time in human history when there wasn't a tyrant? And then people got together and killed the tyrant. It's always what. Just look up, go to the library, look at the history section, grab any book. I don't even care what the title is. Just grab it. And you'll find a basic human story. People, an abusive tyrant, and the tyrant gets, like Saul, his head on a pig pole outside a Philistine town. Yeah, it's always the same story. Mussolini and his family hung from oak trees and machine gunned till there was just nothing left, and then the corpses dragged around. Hitler in a ditch with his stupid little tramp with a bullet in his head, poison in his system. on fire. That's always funny. Yeah, fire. On their wedding night? Good times, huh? Good times. What a piece of garbage. Because you see, garbage like that will always be here. There'll always be abusive garbage in this world. And just because they've surrounded themselves with paper or gold or coin or silver, is that a reason to follow them? That just makes you a bigger idiot. How stupid are you? Even the disciples were stupid. Get rid of her. They had no idea who grace and mercy were for, who kindness was for. Kind of like today. Oh, this country, if you're not an American Indian, you're an immigrant. Did you not figure that out? If you are not pure blood American Indian, you are an immigrant. And even the American Indians are immigrants. That's the Clovis people who lived here 25,000 years ago. And then there was people before that. Came across land bridges. We're all immigrants. Duh. Only an idiot says otherwise. You have to be just stupid. Never read anything, never went to school, just eating your slop with your hands. That's stupid. And yet there's idiots in our country, maybe half the country, who thinks, yeah, we don't have to be kind to immigrants. You're all immigrants, you fool. I think White Stripes put it well in one of their kind of semi-violent songs. We're all immigrants. Idiots. He just put it in actual words in a song. But I always thought that was cute. Just reminding us that most of the country are just flaming idiots in that regard. Because they think mercy's only for... The disciples were the same kind of idiots. God made everyone. No, he just loves us. In spite of us being idiots. Oh, no, he doesn't. Jesus just mocked the disciples and accepted her, loved her, despised his disciples. Do you not see that? It's as blatant as the nose in your face. Although a lot of people have a hard time seeing their own nose. Even if you touch it, you have a hard time seeing it. Try it. You can't see it. It's part of the design. It's not your way. So that's the idea in the text. It has implications individually for us. Midst flaming world and these arrayed. In other words, after it's all burned all to hell and restored, we'll be there. Like this woman and her daughter. And in the meantime, it's a guide to live. Eleison. Kyrie eleison. Lord of mercy. Not just on me, but on everyone. And that's what he did. He sent his son who died for all. And all, by no merit of their own, will live forever. That's the idea. You only don't get it unless you turn it down. That's it. So, that's it. Again, this has been Karl Schmidt, retired pastor at Calvary, on this 1st of March, 2026. All right. Take care.